So we finally deviate from the normal sitcom setup in this fourth episode of WandaVision, focusing on Monica Rambeau, and this is very unique. Hey everybody, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Nettleman, and today we're talking about our reaction to the fourth episode of WandaVision. And this is the first one, like I said at the beginning, that really deviates from the setup we've come to know the first three episodes. And this time we're focusing on everything outside of this bubble of this town that Wanda has essentially created. And this is going to have spoilers in it, so if you have not seen this episode, go watch it before you come back here, so you have been warned. But anyways, this episode starts off essentially around endgame territory because, as we see, she's obviously somebody that got dusted and she's coming back and she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't realize she's been missing a few years, and this hospital is just going insane as people are appearing out of nowhere. It's pretty cool. And we finally get our glimpse of what's been going on outside, everything that's kind of led to all the mysteries that we've seen so far, like the guy in the bee suit and all this stuff. And I really liked this episode a lot. This is the first time we start getting some answers. We still have a lot of questions, but essentially what I found really unique about this episode, it's like a big Black Mirror Twilight Zone thing, and I'm just loving it. I want to know what you guys are thinking so far. But we essentially find out she's working for SWORD. Her mom had really set up this stuff, but she's passed away now, and she's kind of basically having to go through the intro level of things. There's a missing person that she's trying to help out with, and then she stumbles upon is his name Ray Park, that Asian guy who is, I think he was an Ant-Man and stuff. And they're at this town, and we get our first real unique look at how Wanda is affecting people, because essentially all these missing people, nobody in the real life even remembers them. And the people within the town, or even near the town, like these cops that they're talking about, like there is no Westview, and there's a Westview sign right there. And at that point we know, okay, wow, this Wanda is really messing with people, and I'm not sure how much she is actually knowledgeable of. I think she knows exactly what she's doing for the most part. Then, as Monica attempts to fly this drone in there, which is that little helicopter that we kind of saw modified in that first or second episode, I can't remember exactly, we see it just kind of disappears. And we start realizing, oh, this is not exactly what we see on the surface, right? And then as she gets closer, she kind of touches it, and boom, she doesn't just walk in, she gets like sucked in there. And then within 24 hours, you got the whole freaking SWORD and all this stuff, freaking tents everywhere, and they're set up like this is not just a missing person, this is a big deal. Then we kind of fast forwarding, skipping some stuff, we have Kat Dennings showing back up, who most of us recognize, and some people don't like Kat Dennings. I like her. I think she's some good comedic relief, and she provides some answers, right? And she's the one that figures out there's this signal, and she kind of goes through what she does and figures out, hey, look, there's this sitcom going on in there. So everything we've been watching has been exactly what they're saying, like the commercials, everything. So apparently Wanda is putting out a sitcom, which I find very interesting. Like literally camera angles, credits, commercials, all that stuff is actually being provided. It's not just for us as the viewer. It's for them within the show as well. It's trippy. Whew. We also get to see a bit more of an extended view of what happens to Geraldine as she gets expelled from this little universe, right? We get the aspect ratio change again, and we see Wanda really kind of show her powers, freaking blast her out of there. And then, so we kind of basically, we see them shoot into the radio waves of like, Wanda, what's going on? All that stuff. So we kind of see those types of things. And what I found most interesting is really how things change just kind of automatically as they enter this world, right? We got the guy in like that hazmat suit who, as he enters, it turns into a beekeeper outfit. The chain he's attached to, the part that's within the world, turns into like an old school jump rope, right? It's like everything that enters that world has to make sense within the context of the world. And so anything futuristic gets turned retro. Anything that shouldn't be there gets turned into something that makes sense while it's there. I found that very interesting. I mean, the powers Wanda has is insane to be able to do this without like thinking exactly about every little thing. I don't know. It's insane. But then we also get this weird little thing with Vision, right? They acknowledge that Vision's dead. He's long gone. So how the hell is he here? And it's obviously a manifestation of hers, because even after she blasts Monica Rambeau out of there, he comes back in. She looks at him and she's kind of freaked out as we see, like, you know, the gray head with the thing removed. And then she looks back and he's normal again. That was creepy, right? That was cool, though. And yeah, man, this show is just so awesome. But it also reminds me of why this show, in my opinion, would have been much better off had they released it all at once. Because I know a lot of people are missing out because they watched the first two episodes, and they're like, I don't get it at all. Now, having watched the trailer to the show, and like a lot of big Marvel fans, of course, we're going to watch every episode. But there are a lot of casual viewers out there who maybe don't stay up to date with all the Marvel stuff. They don't realize how in-depth the show is going to go, and they drop off. And it's, you know, it sucks for them. Hopefully they'll come back. But I think had the show released all at once, it would have, you know, people could have binged it and it would have made sense. They wouldn't have had time to fall off. They would have watched the whole thing. But at the same time, I kind of like that it's episode to episode, because it allows us times like this to be able to theorize and talk with each other. And it's very fun. What I'm really interested in this point is the next episodes going forward, right? Which is why this show is awesome. It almost reminds me of Lost, because as we get answers, we also have more questions. And they just released a sneak peek for like the next, I don't know if it's just the next episode or the next few episodes, but they're scanning Monica, Geraldine, and like trying to figure out what's going on in there. And they kind of understand a lot more of what's going on. So it'll be really interesting to see where this show goes from here. I'm curious as to what kind of theories you guys have. I know for me, I had a big theory that, you know, maybe Professor X or something maybe had something to do with this, like helping her cope with her trauma that she's had and all this stuff. But they made it pretty clear this episode that this is all Wanda, right? It's all Wanda. She's doing it all. She's controlling it all. This is her little world right now. Obviously, she's trying to cope with a lot of the loss that she's had between watching her love of her life die twice in front of her eyes, once by her own doing, her brother dying, her parents, basically her whole life has been a shit show. And this is her trying to live a nice little life and doesn't want anyone messing with it. But it's affecting other people as well. So it'll be interesting to see where this show goes. I just want the next episode already, you know? Now, look, there's going to be a lot of breakdown things on YouTube of this episode where they break down every little thing. I know there was a lot of stuff I'm not covering here in terms of little nuggets of information and, little things that they're going to zoom in on and be like, did you notice that? I'm not really doing that. I'm just giving you my little reaction, a little recap to the show. Just saying that I really enjoyed it. I just want to get that info out there. Hopefully you enjoy these videos. I really want to know your thoughts, what you think is going to happen, your theories. Let me know and comment below. But that's really all I have to say about that.